I think the survey finds a really bleak picture that's emerging right across Australia at the moment. And we're seeing 43% of people that we surveyed indicating that they've had to switch off the heating and the cooling in their house. So it's not them saying, I can't pay the heating bill or the cooling bill. They've literally switched it off. And this is not about people being comfortable or uncomfortable. It's literally a life and death situation for some people. So if you've got elderly people in a cold house, they may not survive this winter.
Yeah. Is it particular groups of people that you noticed this time round with this survey that were really struggling?
Well, I think the thing for us is we see these surveys every year and we often think, oh, that group of people over there are doing it really tough. But I think what this survey points out very clearly is they are us. So there are people all around us in our families that we work with, our kids go to school with kids that are coming from households where they're not eating because they're doing that to keep a roof over their heads. So they're taking these incredibly extreme measures just simply to survive, and many aren't.
I find that staggering. As the surveys show, not eating or winding back on eating, this is the adults, to ensure kids can eat, which is just stunning in a wealthy country like Australia.
Oh, it's horrific. And I think the other thing, Michael and Lisa, too, is we're seeing 1 in 3 people that we surveyed indicating that they're really fearful that they will become homeless. And so we've talked in this country before about the working poor. I think we've gone into a whole new territory now in this country where we're talking about the working homeless. And we're seeing people that are sleeping in their cars, they're going to public toilets to clean themselves up as best they can, and then they're fronting up for work. And this is not just individuals, but it's families living in cars.
Salvo's are running your Red Shield appeal, which is great. We'll get on to that in a moment, but governments can always help out here. And on that front, and based on these disturbing findings, are you disappointed the government didn't raise JobSeeker in the budget last week?
Oh, absolutely. I think governments are doing all they can. There's much, much more that needs to be done. The other thing too around governments is we need to make sure that promises translate into deliverables for the most vulnerable. That's key. But I think that the reality too is, Michael and Lisa, that often historically, when Australians have had their back against the wall, Australians have said to each other, we've got your back. And I think as a community, we need to continue to look out for each other and do what we can to help.
Do you think that there are a lot of people, including in Parliament, in Canberra, that just don't get how serious it is? You strike me as being kind of shocked yourself at some of the stuff you've read.
Oh, Lisa, when I get a call to say there's someone in a van living there, we think, and I've turned up to the van, I still see it, a Toyota Tarago. I knock on the window, a bloke answers the window, and then a woman pops her head up, and then a little blonde kid pops their head around the corner, and then there's 3 other kids sleeping in that vehicle.
How does that make you feel at the time?
Incredibly frustrated, Michael. Like I think your point before that we live in a really wealthy country, and this, to be blunt, this is outrageous. That we've got this not just happening to a few, but it's on the increase. That's the deep concern for us.
Tell us about the Red Shield appeal.
Well, we're aiming to raise $38 million, and I think for us, there are people that continue to fall through the gaps, and so what we want to do in our work is bridge that gap so that people move from not surviving to surviving, and then what we really want to do is help them move from surviving to thriving. That's the focus for us, and we're really passionate about just encouraging Australians to do whatever they can by ringing 13 Salvos or salvationarmy.org.au, and if we all do a little something, it becomes a big something that enables us to help the most vulnerable in our community.
And of course we're celebrating volunteers all this week as well, so a shout out to everyone who pitches in. Volunteers
are our gold. So we couldn't do what we do right across the nation in our 300 centres without volunteers, so they're just amazing.
Brendan Noddle, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Brendan.
Thank you.